Ime, Indiana was making a bunch of tough shots. I mean, do you chalk this up to just one of those nights?
You could say that to some extent because of some of the tough ones that they hit, but I think we didn't come out as physical as we wanted to. What we showed at halftime was the lack of physicality and connection and allowing them to get in the rhythm and make some easy shots early and then kind of snowball where they did hit some tough ones when we did defend better. But credit to them for the ones they hit, especially late when we got it to 7 in the third and fourth quarter. But like I said, to start the game, Halliburton, Hield, those guys were kind of walking into threes where we were underneath the three-point line. We wanted to make them play inside the three-point line. A guy like Brissett hit some tough ones, and we're kind of looking at his numbers overall, so we kind of can live with some of those. But the ones where they have really good shooters like Halliburton, Hield, even Brogdon, they're getting the wide open looks. Those are the ones that hurt us and let them get in the rhythm.
That stretch when they hit, I think it was 5 straight shots, including 4 threes. You called a timeout right after that. What did you think you guys were doing wrong for not doing enough of it?
Not locating their guys, like I said. Whether it's a cross match and transition or whatever the case is, you got to know your personnel. And Rob and some of our bigs got dipped below the 3-point line. Well, we want them to obviously step up with Halliburton and those guys and make them, drive against them. And so just some of those things that happen, like I said, cross matches and those guys getting comfortable, kind of warm up shots. And so to Abby's point, they started making some tougher ones late when we defended well, but I think we helped them early on with our lack of physicality and attention to detail on their main shooters.
You made it sound like Al was at least available today. What went into the decision to not play him and give him the full day off?
37 minutes last night?
Yeah.
Really? That's the decision. That's what went into it.
So I guess how was the defense kind of look from your perspective the last 3 games since the All-Star break? It seems like maybe the shots are a little bit more open for the other team so far.
Yeah, to my point, I think especially Detroit and this game, we weren't as physical as we needed to be from the start. I talked about a pregame a little bit where you give teams confidence when they get a rhythm, and so we haven't been coming out and have the good starts in the last 2 specifically. Even Brooklyn, was okay. We defended okay. They were a little, depleted, but the open looks that they got tonight, to your point, some of the miscommunication and coverage hasn't been as sharp in the last 2 for sure. And so got to improve that. And obviously, giving up 27 points in your lowest quarter is a bad sign. 27-39 in the second and 27-35. That's way too much, obviously. So we like to keep teams in the low 20s at least a quarter or 2. And, haven't been able to do that. Our starts haven't been the best.
Point of concern at this point, I just kind of talk about maybe a few blips.
After a game or 2, I wouldn't, say that we're falling off a cliff or anything. We just have to refocus and kind of settle back in and come, have the starts that we had earlier in the streak. And not to say the break halted our momentum or focus or anything, because we still have guarded well at times, as you saw in Detroit in the fourth quarter and third quarter. So just have to come out with a better mindset and play through a 3 and 4 night. It happens to everybody, and you got to go through those during the season. Like I said, our attention to detail on their main shooters wasn't the best to start.
In the case of just Halliburton hits that 38-footer, they just started hitting shots, as you said, maybe caused by the defense. But then you guys kind of putting their heads down, and then then that leads to more, especially when their shots aren't going down either.
You can say so a little bit. I want us to continue to play fast, even on the makes. Some of those you chalk up to tough shots, but I want our guys to be conscious of the shot clock, and if somebody's being guarded close, they're gonna get it up. So take up some of that space. Guys are capable of the NBA. Guys are capable of making shots. So you don't just back off because he's at 35 feet. Some of these guys are shooters, and we let them get those shots even late. Now, the one he'll hit when we got to 7 in the fourth quarter, that's a tough one. 2 guys were on him, and he makes that, and then we turn it over on the next possession. They get it back to 12. That's one you kind of tip your hat, I guess. But some of the other ones, I still think, Brissett, 31% three-point shooter, but we're not closing out. He's still a respectable shooter. And we're acting like he's a cold guy. And so some of those things weren't our best tonight, and got to improve on those, obviously.
Ime, what were you guys arguing at the end? What was Marcus so upset about?
Oh, that they called, gave them a timeout when he had the ball as well, which if two players have the ball, one team can't call the timeout. The ref said he didn't have it when they called the timeout. Said it was similar to the play where I called the timeout at the other end. So Marcus and I didn't agree.
Coach, we have a Zoom question back here from John Corrales, please. Thank you.
A couple, actually, one is a follow-up to Abby there. Marcus spent a lot of time after the game on the floor talking to the refs, and it just seemed like there was a lot of frustration there. We've talked about that a lot, but how much does that play into how you guys performed tonight? And then looking forward, how much of a missed opportunity was this? Do you see this as a missed opportunity with some challenging games coming up?
Yeah, I mean, regarding Marcus talking to him, I think he said he was apologizing after, wanted to get his point across, I guess. And so that's what he said when I went up to him. I said, let it go. And he said, I'm apologizing for the future. It is a missed opportunity. A team that, although they've been playing really well offensively, had not played well defensively. So we knew that coming in, knew they were a different team that played with the pace. And like I said, I didn't want us to get shell-shocked early with the pace and the freedom that they're playing with their since the trade deadline, and felt like we weren't as sharp as we needed to be. And so you look back at that, of course, as an opportunity against a team that had been struggling 1-4 in their last 5. And so, but to our point, now it's the NBA, and back-to-back 3 and 4 nights doesn't matter. You still have to come out and play the game. And when we did start to guard, we held them down and got back in the game. But like I said, from the start, we weren't as sharp as we need to be.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.